This program is brought to you by realestate.com.au. Keep moving with Australia's #1 address in property.
Welcome back. There are about 2,160 auctions this weekend. Sydney will hold about 740, Melbourne 875, Brisbane 145, Adelaide 92 and Canberra 56. Take a look at the most viewed properties going to auction this weekend, and in New South Wales, the top property is 63 Matthew Crescent, Blacktown. This 5-bedder has 4 bathrooms and a pool. The top property in Victoria is 43 Felix Crescent, Ringwood North. This 4-bedder has an additional granny flat downstairs. Asking price is $1.2 million. The top property in Queensland is 18 Gira Street, Coorparoo. This massive 5-bedder has 3 baths, a quadruple garage, magnesium swimming pool and lots of living areas. The top property in South Australia is 16 Alexander Avenue, Cumberland Park. Now, this charming 3-bedroom bungalow has a classic Adelaide sandstone facade. It's got 2 baths, 2 parking spots, big backyard. Asking price is $1.4 million. Top property in Western Australia is 174 South Terrace, Fremantle. This Federation home has been renovated. It's got 3 beds, 1 bathroom, courtyard and a large garage. And the most viewed property on the REA Group website this week is actually 2 homes located at number 67 and number 75 Grooms Hill Road, Coonya. Now, that's on the Tasman Peninsula, about an hour's drive from Hobart Airport and 1 hour 20 minutes from Hobart itself. This property is called Triptych and was featured on Grand Designs Australia Season 11. And just looking at these pictures, it's easy to see why. The first property is called the Glass House, which is basically all glass apart from the bathroom, which does have some walls. Everything else is visible from the outside. The main property is called the Blunt House, which has 3 beds and 2 baths. It's set into the side of a hill. And the final structure is called the Folly, which is this large concrete sculpture at the end of the property. The 2 homes are spread over 40 hectares. Auction guide, $3.5 million plus. And for more on property, I spoke to Anne Flaherty from REA Group.
We have seen the number of homes coming up for auction decrease in line with winter, which we typically see. We are around 10% below the same levels we were seeing this time last year, though. In terms of demand, we are still seeing very strong levels of buyer demand. And if we look at how auction clearance rates have been performing in recent weeks, it's still pretty good. Particularly if we look at last weekend, we saw clearance rates above 70% in markets like Melbourne, Canberra and Adelaide.
All right, you've done some research this week looking at what $1 million, which I believe is now the median value of a home in a capital city around Australia, can get you for that money. What does $1 million get you these days?
Well, unfortunately, the answer to that is increasingly little. Even though the median has now hit $1 million, there are a lot of suburbs around the country where $1 million is nowhere close to enough just to even get you half the number of properties. In the research we've done, we found that a buyer with a budget of $3 million would be able to afford less than half the homes in over 100 different suburbs around the country. The majority of those are in Sydney, but we do see these kinds of suburbs in every capital.
All right. Is there any place around the country where $1 million can lock you into buying a home? Is there anywhere that's affordable?
Look, one of the best places to buy if your budget is around $1 million is actually in Adelaide. Even though we have seen extremely strong price growth across Greater Adelaide as a whole, there are still a lot of suburbs there where $1 million is going to get you into around 72% of those total suburbs in Adelaide. So from an affordability perspective, there's still a lot of value there.
Yeah, looking at your research in Greater Sydney, it says there's only 5 suburbs where $1 million can get you a home, and Canberra, only 1 suburb.
That's right, and it's kind of shocking when you put those figures on it. Increasingly what this means is that buyers are being pushed out further and further from the centre of cities. We're seeing a lot of new development happening on the outskirts of our capitals, and that's where a lot of that, particularly first home buyer demand or people who are looking to upsize to a larger house size, are increasingly purchasing just because of that affordability.
Right, so outer suburbs, $1 million can still get you a home, but inner areas, just forget about it.
That's exactly right. And outer is becoming increasingly outer. We're seeing that sprawl continue with a lot of the areas where we're seeing more development. Increasingly, those inner middle ring suburbs, and now even outer middle ring suburbs, we're seeing buyers priced out of them unless they do have very significant budgets.
And this is obviously research looking at a house. You'd imagine that if $1 million doesn't get you a home, a lot of people would then go to apartments because they are better priced, but obviously you don't get as much space.
That's right, and it's creating this interesting situation where the kinds of homes that we're building are not actually what we need. As a society, the average household size is shrinking, but for people who do need larger homes, additional bedrooms, maybe a backyard, they're being priced out of the established house market, and so they're the ones who are buying in these outer new development areas. Meanwhile, a lot of the larger houses in our middle ring suburbs are just not attainable for the kinds of people who are actually looking for that sort of product.
And Flaherty from REA Group, great to have you on the show.